People have become more susceptible to superbugs because of their overuse in livestock. As more antibiotics are used to help eliminate deadly bacteria from animals, a rise of superbugs has occurred as a byproduct. First off though, what are these superbugs and why are they to be worried about? Superbugs are strains of bacteria that have evolved over the years to become resistant to against, like different types of bacteria due to the misuse and abuse of antibiotics. Superbugs have become a major issue in society as more people get infected by them and are unable to fight them off using antibiotics because they have developed a resistance to them. Worst off though, the more antibiotics are used, the more resistant superbugs will get. It's like we're fighting the flame instead of extinguishing it. In fact, the deaths by superbugs has only continued to increase. According to the Promising Viral Threat to Bacterial Resistance by Todd Kelly, by 2050, some experts predict that the number of deaths due to antibiotic resistance is going to reach 10 million. That's 10 million deaths. This is a major issue, and one of the main contributors is how these antibiotics are misused with livestock. According to the Bulletin of the World Health Organization, in some countries, about 80% of the total consumption of antibiotics that are important for human health is in the animal sector, mainly for growth promotion and healthy animals. That's 80% of our antibiotics important for our health that's going to go into animals. And this is how superbugs originate. The bacteria that survive the antibiotics stay alive in the animals and later spread their resistance towards generations of new bacteria. This bacteria then stick with animals in the animals' meat until the animals get killed. The contaminated meat then gets digested, and then an illness begins, and then ultimately leading to someone's demise. There's a solution to this issue though: bacterial phages. Bioengineering bacteriophages and Intralex to help target superbugs will help reduce the deaths caused by them. Bacteriophages are a type of virus that excels at killing bacteria/superbugs since they're a natural enemy. Companies like Intralex have seen the potential of the bacteriophages and have started testing with them to see if they can be used efficiently as an alternative for antibiotics. Bacteriophages work by using bacteria as hosts for their offspring. This makes bacteriophages a much better way to tackle superbugs instead of antibiotics. As stated in Phage Resistance: New Hope Against Antibiotic Resistance, written in 2013 by Potera. By comparison, he says, antibiotics and chemical defectants also kill good bacteria, like casualties of war. In other words, antibiotics work like frag grenades because they attempt at killing a specific bacteria, but they also end up taking the good ones and the bad ones with them. But bacteriophages work like guided missiles because they only take down that one bad one. This is because bacteriophages have evolved over the years to only take down one bacteria perfectly. This makes it perfect when it comes to treating infections because the bacteriophage will only target a specific bacteria and will not be able to kill any other good ones. Additionally, bacteriophages will help reduce superbugs resistance to antibiotics. As stated in Viruses versus Bacteria Using One Germ to Fight Another When Antibiotics Fail, written in 2019 by Neergaard, Lauran, bacteriophages evolved to escape phages just like they do antibiotics, but they generally make trade-offs to do so. What Neergaard states is that even if bacteria start evolving to become resistant to their bacteriophage counterparts, they will have to give up their resistance to antibiotics in order to do so. It's a win-win situation. However, not everyone is fond of the idea of inserting a virus into your body to kill off a bacteria and trust they will solely do that purpose. However, this method is purely safe and the best option we have for taking down CREs, as proved evident in the Promising Viral Threat to Bacterial Resistance, Uncertain Patentability of Phage Therapeutics, and the Necessity of Alternative Intensives, written by Todd Kelly in 2019. Intralex has brought to the market a number of FDA-approved phage products that have addressed food safety issues. Intralex has tested multiple experiments with bacteriophages by having them sprayed on food and food processing plants by means of phage cocktails. This method inserts bacteriophages into areas where the superbugs thrive to allow the bacteria to kill off those bad superbugs. This method has been tested against L-monsotogens by a product called Livestock, and results show that contamination lowered by 95% or better, with no signs of the viruses targeting any other bacteria but L-monsotogens. This method proves trustworthy. As of right now, bacteriophages engineering has slow funding, but if we give it more attention, we can stop the problem and allow for less deaths.